Thank you. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I believe it's almost lunchtime. I'll just try to keep this as succinct as possible and to take, of course, questions from the floor. So thank you, everyone, for coming by. Thank you to CoinGecko for hosting this changelog stage. So I'll just like to take a few poll and questions out here. How many of you guys are aware of gold as an investment class, as an asset? A couple of you guys out there. Are you aware that gold itself is an investment class that you look to when you are trying to stay away from the risk in the market itself, right? And the next question I'll ask you is, how many of you here own physical gold, like gold bars under your bed or at home in a storage, in a safe and stuff like that? Very nice. I'm not going to ask you where it is particularly, but yeah, I think it's a good way that it's a good means for me to see how people are interested, or rather understand the value and importance of gold itself. So what we're trying to do here at Digix essentially is to create digital gold. Right, and digital gold has often been referred to as what we know as Bitcoin, but what we are actually offering here is digital physical gold itself. So why gold? Why did Digix choose to actually tokenize gold? So we started a project back in 2015 with the very same aim to actually tokenize gold and to issue on Ethereum itself tokens that represents 1 gram of them. And all these tokens itself are 100% backed by gold bars that sits in the vaults here in Singapore as well as in Canada. Why gold? In Asia itself, we account for almost 2/3 of the entire consumption around the world, be it from central banks, bullion banks, dealers, household consumptions, retail and institutional investors itself. The physical gold market itself is valued at over $1 trillion market cap. Of course, a lot of these are based on leveraged positions in the exchange-traded funds, as well as other forms of gold ownership through brokerages. Singapore alone accounts for almost 100 billion of this trade value. And Singapore, Hong Kong, and Switzerland are usually known as the gold hubs around the world for its security, tax-free status on gold, and just the ease of comfort of people buying them and storing out here. So some of the challenges that my team actually looked out for is that we realized gold itself, or rather gold ownership, has 3 main factors that hinders people from acquiring them. Firstly, buying fake gold. Right? As we've seen in Singapore here, there are a couple of other fake gold incidences that happened over the last 5 years. You have pawn brokerages, shops that actually sell fake gold bars laced with lead. Lead itself is very close in characteristic to gold in terms of weight, density. A lot of people get confused whenever they see a fake gold bar versus a real gold bar. In fact, right at my vaults, we do a simple test to actually ascertain the actual authenticity of the gold bar itself. Next, gold bars come with a set of documents that accompany them, pretty much just like any other precious item that you buy with. And at times, a lot of these documents could be tampered and forged with. Lastly, if you were to buy, let's say, a gold ETF, is it possible to actually look through the entire history of all the gold bars that sits in the vaults to ascertain when and why did we actually buy these gold bars? Probably not, right? For obvious reasons of scalability as well as trade secrecy, maybe these ETF issuers won't issue them. So we identified 3 different problems of gold ownership, broadly speaking, and created what we call a DGX Gold-backed token. The mission of this token is to allow everyone, every man on the street, as like what Lloyd mentioned from Khyber, there are a lot of people out there around the world who don't have direct access to financial services around the world. And what we're trying to offer them is just an easy way to get involved in gold ownership in a safe and secure jurisdiction like here in Singapore. By doing so, we actually purchase gold bars from approved and accredited metal providers, companies who are accredited with the LBMA status. So LBMA in short stands for London Bullion Market Association. If you are approved by this association, you are said to be selling investment grade gold, which means that your gold bars have a certain market price that is being tagged to it. Secondly, we take these gold bars, we put it into the vaults, and along the way, all these different documentations itself are uploaded onto IPFS. IPFS in short stands for Interplanetary File System, pretty much just like a decentralized file storage where you could be putting documents around it online. These tokens itself are then minted on the Ethereum blockchain to create what we call DGX. An ERC20 token itself that's currently listed on some exchanges such as Bitfinex, KyberSwap itself, Uniswap, and many other more licensed exchanges around the region. For example, Tokenized Exchange in Malaysia, VCCE out of Vietnam, and Toko Crypto out from Indonesia. We are constantly working on increasing the exchange visibility, so you'll be seeing them around the way. So this whole interface that we have designed on the Digix marketplace allows you to actually see every single detail related to the gold bars that you are purchasing behind the tokens itself. You could see the brand, the serial number, when it's being stored, the audit test of it, to verify at any one point in time that your gold bar is real, is sitting in the vaults, and it has never been tampered with. This registry itself is available to anyone around the world who can log into the marketplace without a registration, without KYC, and just verify that Digix does own the gold bars. The whole point of this system is to design a token that is 100% backed with physical deposits. I'm sure you guys have heard of stablecoins before, like the USD stablecoins. A lot of these concerns around them are usually around the holdings of it. Where are the US dollar deposits? What kind of interest are they yielding on it? Which bank are storing them and stuff like that. So what we're trying to design here is exactly the same kind of system that what you would see in a USD deposit system, but for gold bars alone. So this technology or proof of provenance could be applied just to pretty much to any other kind of asset class, whether it's precious watches, art pieces, anything that you would like to ascertain provenance to them. Of course, after this presentation, if anyone is interested into speaking about tokenizing of assets or have a business model around it, I invite you to come and reach out and try to see how we can work together to help you digitize and tokenize other kind of physical assets. So before this, I'd like to actually announce two different announcements that I made this week in Invest Asia. Firstly, Digix itself is offering a 3% off on all gold purchases on my marketplace right now. The marketplace address is digix.global/app. So I repeat, digix.global/app. On that marketplace itself, you would be able to see gold prices that are slashed 3% off. So yesterday I was meeting a gold dealer. I was just asking him, I say, what have you been seeing in the market these days? Because gold prices have risen more than 17% over this year. And he was saying, oh, a lot of my customers are asking for discount. So I said, what, have you offered any form of discount? He said, yes, 10 basis points. But what we're offering here is 3%. So in terms of the magnitude of discount, yes, we are offering that steep amount. And you could be buying it, trading on exchanges, holding it simply as a store of value. The second announcement, for any of you guys out here who are running projects or who are building things on the blockchain ecosystem alone, I do invite you to come and look at the Digix DAO itself. How many of you guys here have heard of Digix DAO before? Okay, maybe some of you guys. Digix DAO itself stands for Digix Decentralized Autonomous Organization. This platform has a total of 400,000 ethers. It's up for grabs. Anyone out there who has a proposal, who wants to help market Digix, who wants to create liquidity on DGX, who wants to create any form of marketing around the gold-backed token, could apply for a grant. Grant sizes goes anywhere from 1 ethers up to 250 ethers and dispersed over a couple of milestones. This proposal right now has been, this proposal system has been live since March of this year. We have about 12 ongoing proposals, ranging anywhere from marketing proposals, creation of an exchange, liquidity services, Telegram, Twitter management, any kind of related activity around DGX itself. We have dispersed close to about 1,200 ethers, with 20,000 more ethers remaining for the next 30 days. Of course, it's not going to be exhausted altogether, but it will keep running indefinitely until the whole ecosystem around DGX is being built up. Pretty much just like a grant system is what we've been seeing with what governments are doing. They try to spur innovation, they try to grow and promote innovation around in the space. So that's what we're doing with Digix DAO. Two announcements. Firstly, 3% off gold. Secondly, I do invite you to come forward and look at the Digix DAO page. The Digix DAO page link is community.digix.global. I repeat, it's community.digix.global. So going back to what we have in this POP system today, right? We are currently working with 6 different suppliers. They are all real-world entities, people who have been accredited with the LBMA status, people who are actually storing precious metals, not just only for Digix, but for high net worth individuals, for institutions, for banks and stuff. A third-party auditor comes into the vault and checks every single gold bar once every 90 days. All these documents are published on the IBFS and are all publicly available. As of today, we have completed 4 audit cycles because we've been up and running for about a year. And in total, there have been 4 gentlemen that came forward to the vault to actually redeem their gold bars. So in fact, you could actually be, for the very first time, turning digital tokens into physical assets, all on the blockchain itself. Some of the key figures I'd like to share here is that over the last year, We have been tokenizing on an average about a kilogram every 4 days. That equates to a dollar value of about $50,000 right now. And right now in the entire go-back ecosystem, we own about 111 kilograms of them. Pretty much a little bit more than 50% of the market share.
On Twitter as well. Check out Twitter.
Some business model of what we do here in Digix, we don't charge any kind of ongoing administrative fee. What we do is that we do a premium over the spot price of gold, which is now slashed to under 3%. Redemption fees are charged at 1%, which means if you want to pick up your gold bar, you do pay a 1% administrative fee. The storage fee here is super competitive at 0.4% a year. If you were to buy a gold back ETF, you're paying anywhere between 0.8 to 0.9% a year. If you were to go to a physical custodian, you pay in a fixed dollar value depending on the amount of precious items you have involved. Some of the things that have happened here in Digix over the last 3 years, I would say. We created the first Go Back token back in 2018 of March last year. And this year itself, we have been partnering with Enterprise Singapore, as well as Tribe Accelerator, who are one of the sponsors of the program itself. Yeah, so come speak to me after the event. I'll happy to take more questions out here with regards to DGX itself or Digix style. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Shaun. Okay, so now the floor is open for questions. Is there anybody that would like to ask Mr. Shaun any questions? Yes, the gentleman in front here. Sir, if you may, just introduce yourself and share where you're from.
Hey, hi, Daniel from DQ Concepts. I understand is there a limit to the total supply of Digix tokens? So once you hit the max supply, what will happen? Thanks.
All right, thank you for the question. So if I were to rephrase it, he's asking, is there a fixed market cap on what the DGX token is today? The answer is no. So what we do is that I do purchase gold bars, sell out the tokens. When I'm sold out, I will buy and replenish more. So it's pretty much more like an ongoing minting process. I will continually be increasing the gold tokens as and when the market is requesting for it. In fact, this week we are actually adding more gold tokens into the space. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your question. Any other questions from the floor? No? Okay, well, if not, we have a question here from our Twitter, from our live feed. Now, if you guys are not familiar, you can check out our Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and this is all live. So, Shaun, this is all live. Okay, so this question came in. What do you think about the latest news of Paxos launching a gold token?
Right, so I think this is probably one of the most commonly asked questions I've heard this whole week. Okay. Yeah, in fact, I've actually been meeting with Pax for the last couple of months, heard of their plans, and I do think that it's a great thing that they're coming in, namely for 2 reasons. Firstly, having more competitors in the space legitimizes the entire idea of it. Paxos being a regulated NYDFS entity itself gives a lot of credibility to what go-back projects are actually doing in this space. Secondly, it gives me validity of the business as well. It allows me to see like, okay, maybe there is an actual use and demand for actually go-back tokens out there. So I don't really think that they are exact competitors at this stage right now. I do think that it's a good thing that they come into the space. It gives people alternatives. PaxG token itself is a little bit different in a sense they are denominated against troy ounces, whereas DGX itself is denominated against gram. Is there an arbitrage between troy ounce and grams? Yeah, absolutely, because of the rounding error of it. So I invite you guys to actually look at both tokens, find a way of how can you arbitrage that. In my previous career, before I actually started Digix, I was actually a gold arbitrage trader. And I was actually arbitraging troy ounces against kilogram for the very exact reason. So I do think it's a good thing that they're coming into the space. It will create a lot more liquidity and volume across exchanges. So yeah, I do think it's a good thing.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Any questions from the floor? No? Okay, and that's it. Okay, let me just check out Twitter over here. All right, so we have another question here. Now, Digix has been backed by the Singapore government with an incubator program called Tribe Accelerators. Now, how has that helped Digix since you joining this accelerator program?
Right. So I just now I saw the Tribe Accelerator managing partner. His name is Yiming, so do look out for him if you see him around. Tribe Accelerator is probably the first government-backed blockchain accelerator out here in Singapore. What they have helped given Digix itself is the connections to Enterprise Singapore. So Enterprise Singapore, as some of you guys might know, is an outward-facing entity. They bring businesses back into Singapore, and they encourage to actually help local startups to reach out to other regions around the world. Coincidentally, they are also the regulator of precious metal. So I think how they really helped me, in fact, is that it helps me to bridge a better connection to the regulator of precious metal. That's where I was able to gain better visibility into the new laws and the new acts that we could be compliant to.
Okay. All right. Wow. Tribe Accelerators, they manage the regulators for precious metals as well.
Enterprise Singapore.
Oh, Enterprise
is the
Singapore. Okay,
regulator
yes, I was
of
trying to
precious
put this
metal.
together.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are there any questions? If no questions, thank you, Shaun. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your day. Thank you.
Thank you.